listening to Downworlder Dish, a Shadowhunter Chronicles podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 26, where we will be discussing Chapter 8 of City of Ashes, The Seelie Court. So excited. Yay. I'm Kristen.
I'm Robin.
And I'm Amanda. Awkward. How do I follow that? That was amazing.
I was like, what's my name?
Oh my goodness. How's everyone doing?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Can't stop eating these pistachios, guys. They're like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. That's what they say, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I just said it like that. I felt like I'm talking to a child. Oh my goodness.
O-M goodness.
O-M to the G. Have you guys been binging anything interesting?
Oh, no. Not interesting. I have been binging.
I am so glad you said that. You just reminded me of something I need to do. That is all.
Okay.
I've
been binging that Below Deck show.
Right.
Oh.
That you were talking about last week.
Yeah, it's really
dramatic
and I love it.
I had family over the other night, and while I was cooking dinner, they put on this movie called 2012 with like John Cusack.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before.
Oh my God.
And so I did that really annoying thing where you weren't actually watching the movie, but I kept asking a butt ton of questions.
Dude, no.
But at least they had seen it a bunch, so it was not a big deal.
Right. Because it came out in 2012.
Right. And then I was like, gosh, I bet there's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen. And so I went on Netflix and I saw the movie Inception. And I've never seen that before, but I remember Kristen saying Downworlder Dish Inception. And
so you wanted to get the reference?
I did. And so I've had to watch it in two parts. So I've only watched like 30 minutes out of a time, which stinks. But, you know, kids need attention and
But
stuff.
especially for that movie, it's a little bit difficult. You might have to rewatch it again after you finish it.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time.
I've watched it a few times.
With trying to keep the story straight. But I'm really... I'm happy to keep watching it. But then I was like, 2 hours? That's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, most movies are 2 hours, you psycho.
Yeah. How am I supposed to sit for 2 hours uninterrupted?
Oh, I don't know, man. I can't help you there.
Well, and then I really want to watch this 90 Day Fiancé. They Strike Back.
I haven't watched it.
But the TLC Go app just has like an ungodly amount of commercials to where it's like,
is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Exactly.
No, it's not, because it's 90 Day Fiancé and no one cares.
Have you even watched it? You don't even know. You don't even know.
You don't even know.
I can't.
Okay,
I hate
listen.
trashy reality TV. It bothers
Says
me
the lady,
so much.
Watch Tiger King.
Yeah,
that is a docuseries, not reality TV. Thank you very much. Different classification.
But if he actually got to make...
No, I
that
wouldn't.
Reality show.
I wouldn't be interested. I'm more interested in like let's look at this crazy person and kind of dissect their life versus I don't care if they want to be famous.
Did you watch that would you say docuseries on Netflix about the Nazi guy that lived in...
No, not yet.
And he got extradited, and it was about his... Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just put it on because I was like, interesting. And then I just couldn't turn it off. I stayed up like literally all night.
Yeah. Netflix has some really good... I'm in the second episode of the Epstein docuseries.
I can't watch good stuff like that because I can't pay attention. That's why I have to watch the trash. Because it's background.
Yeah.
Dang, that sounds good.
When there's one that's about like this gymnastics, the U.S. women's gymnastics.
I haven't. That just came out.
Oh God,
Athlete
really?
A, or something that it's called.
Ugh, that guy's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a docuseries about him.
Jason and I just watched was The Devil at the Crossroads, and it's the story of Robert Johnson, who is like, he's renowned as one of the like pioneers, like the pioneer of rock and roll music. So he was like a blues player in the 30s. And like the things that he did with the guitar and like the chord progressions that he created were like the founding blocks for rock and roll or whatever. And the story goes because he was like an okay guitar player, like not really anything special. And then he disappeared for a year and came back like doing things that no one had ever seen and like being just incredible. So the theory or the like legend or whatever is that he made a deal with the devil and sold his soul to the devil.
And he went down to Georgia.
Right. and then came back and got all this like crazy fame and stuff. And there's no recordings, like tape recordings of him, like video or whatever. And he like produced music and like there's tracks and stuff. And there's only like a handful of pictures of him. It's an interesting, like? It was only like 48 minutes, I think, was the documentary. So it wasn't long. Okay, so let's cut the chit chat and kick things off with Robin's recap.
Previously on Downworlder Dish.
Clary, Alec, and Isabel arrive at the Bone City and head in, running into all sorts of things one would expect to find in a Stephen King novel. Bloody footprints, rotting, and an impaled Silent Brother. Clary, using her brother-lover intuition, finds Jace's holding cell and sets him free with some kind of uber rune. They make their way back to the surface, only to be greeted by the Shadowhunter cavalry, led by the Inquisitor. She is none too pleased with the spawn of Vitang, and quickly begins damning everyone and being an all-around umbrage. Jace falls ill and is saved by the Bane, who agrees to hold Jace at his house while he awaits trial.
Okay, tell me, is his name Magnus, like first and last name, Magnus Bane?
Yes.
Okay.
He is the best. Okay. So Clary has a dream that she's...
I just realized Bane Chronicles. They're Magnus Bane. I just realized it right now. In this moment.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
That's the wheel fitting together.
It's my noggin spinning.
So funny.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Well, I'm just thinking of Bane, like from
like you're the bane
Batman?
of my existence.
Oh my
Like,
god.
oh,
It's Tom
Bane.
Hardy. Just could you imagine Magnus talking like that? Just the shit he says, but in that voice.
Oh shoot.
Oh my gosh. So Clary has a dream that she's at the Coney Island boardwalk and she's in like oversized pajamas that are like dragging on the ground. And she comes across her mom who's like sitting in like a ruined sand castle, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like, Mom! But she's like in the dress from Renwick's and stuff. So it's definitely like every creep factor you could give. Like it's just gives you the heebie-jeebies. And it's almost as if Jocelyn found a way to visit Clary in her dreams by the way that she talks to her. She's like, I'm still sleeping and, I'm just sleeping. It's okay. And Clary's like, well, how do I wake you up? And she's like, we don't have time for that. Like, really?
You can just tell me in real life.
Right.
IRL.
And so Jocelyn takes a piece of driftwood and draws this rune on Clary's forearm. And, she's like, we don't have much time. This should protect you. And right before Clary wakes up, the surf swells, right? That's a word. Yeah.
Swells. Yeah.
The surf swells and she sees these like shadowy figures just underneath the water. And then she wakes up like breathing heavily and like...
Have you ever done that?
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
all the
that's
time.
the worst.
Seriously, it's the worst. Yeah.
I had a nightmare, like a legit nightmare, probably 2 weeks ago, and it has
Really?
been so long since it's happened to me that it was like very, very like cold sweat. Like I couldn't go back to sleep. I had to like watch a cartoon, man.
I
and
have
like
to have Andy cuddle me. Yeah.
You know what happened? So I don't generally get nightmares like that. I get very weird dreams where sometimes bad things happen, but usually not like nightmares. What always happens to me that freaks me the fuck out is like as I'm falling asleep, I hear someone call my name. And then I'm like, what? And I'm not asleep yet, but I hear someone call my name and I'm like, oh my God. And then I can't sleep because I'm so like wound up about it, but it happens all the time.
When Andy
And I'm
was
like, do we have ghosts?
Yeah. It's the sleeping ghost.
Yeah.
When Andy was out of town, like when he used to work in Seattle and he'd come home on the weekends, I one time couldn't sleep because I could hear something, and it was really freaking me out. I was like, what is that sound? And I'm laying there like incredibly still trying to figure out what it was, and I finally realized it was my own heartbeat.
Oh my God.
I was so incredibly terrified because I'm like, it's getting louder. What is it? I was so afraid of being home alone. Could not handle it. It was like one of the first nights.
Oh my God.
Obviously had the kids, but anyway.
It's not the same, yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious. But I love how you like feel like if you're still, it can't see you.
Yes.
Just trying to gain your composure.
Right?
Do you remember it too?
Of course
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
It's terrifying.
Very, like, vividly, and it was so stupid. But it just got me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the one I had when I was in Spain, and Andy woke me up screaming, and that was 11 years ago, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Was that terrifying?
Dude. So my bad dreams are like when fucking Jason made us move to the moon for his job, and he told me I could have a dog, and then I couldn't have a dog, and I was really upset about it.
That's so funny.
And I was so mad because he was like, you'll be able to come back anytime you want. Like, if you need to get groceries, you can come back to Earth.
Like you're Xenon.
Yeah, basically. And I was like, you lied.
I need
so
Oreos.
mad. I was
Yeah.
like, you told me.
That's so funny.
Have you kind of analyzed this most recent dream? Sometimes our subconscious, so I do a lot of dream journaling.
About moon pies. Sorry.
Moon dogs.
But sometimes our subconscious makes something inherently scary in order to get you to pay attention. So it's basically your brain telling you you're not listening, that you need to address this, but we're going to give you something that you can't ignore, like as a nightmare. And then if you just kind of like start to break it down, that might, relate to the rest of, your daily life or whatever. It's interesting to kind of like pick apart like what your subconscious is telling
Creepy,
you.
but it's cool.
Although I have never been able to like pick apart a reoccurring dream that I used to have when I was a kid, and I only got it when I was sick. And the dream was that I was a very tiny, like I was like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, tiny. And I was on the toilet paper roll, and someone was pulling the toilet paper, and I was running as fast as I could, and I was like, he's gonna get me. He's gonna get me. And then I would wake up in a cold sweat, like just like I thought I was gonna die up someone's butt because they were gonna wipe me.
That is crazy. You just drown when you flush.
Yeah, but I never in the dream, I never get off the toilet roll. I'm just running and like
Crazy.
terrified. I was never able to figure out that one.
I love it.
Rubik's Cube
I've
my
never
way out of
thought
that
about
one.
breaking them down. I always just thought it was kind of like your mind just snapping different things throughout the day, but it seems like fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well,
Yeah.
psychology has a lot of like, because your subconscious is basically talking to you.
Right.
And telling you things. And so, yeah, it's interesting. I'm a nerd. I like to learn. I'm not an expert at anything, but I like to learn about all kinds of, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Jason came, I was watching videos on my phone on YouTube, and he's like, what the fuck are you watching? And it was the difference in taxes between the UK and the US. Like, why do I need to know how the tax system works in the UK? But I wanted to know. And now I do.
It's when you get in those wormholes where you can't stop
Dude,
looking at videos.
I'm fucking weird, man.
Yep.
When I was pregnant with Adriana, and I really wanted to know the gender, like really bad. And I walked in, and the baby's in the crib in this yellow like pajama, and then she looks over and there's no face. Like it just looks so I can't tell. It was just a blur, like super creepy.
Dude, you have interesting dreams. I want to start remembering your dreams. Write them down. I want to pick
Text us
them apart
every morning.
Oh my God, that is fascinating. You have an interesting brain.
Why did the baby not, when it was just like I could totally like see, but it was just like a blur.
Well, so if the baby didn't have a face, that might mean that you felt disconnected or you didn't know it. And so it was like it's blank. It's like you can't place it. You don't know yet, and you might have anxiety around that.
Yeah, it was just So then on Mattress World's Facebook page, we had like basically describe your most interesting dream in 5 words or less. And I said, baby without a face.
Oh my God. But also, the human brain can't conjure a new face.
Right, exactly.
Right. So that might be it. Is you didn't want to your subconscious didn't want to put another baby's face on your baby's face.
Interesting.
And so it was just blank.
Yeah, you have to have seen somebody, like just a random stranger or something. It's crazy.
Interesting. Okay.
Like, even if you try to like piece together an image, like if I was trying to like in my head close my eyes right now and put together a face with Amanda's eyes and Robin's mouth, I can't visually picture it, but if I took 2 pictures and put it like that, then I could see that forever.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. And did you know that you see upside down? No. Your brain changes it. So your eyes, what I see right now is actually an inverted upside down, but my brain has been trained to like do the work and process
like
it this way.
You can actually always see your nose also.
Yeah.
Why?
And your brain just pieces like, because your nose is always in and then it just blocks it out.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
Fuck, this is great.
So Clary wakes up in a sheer panic. She's just like, holy crap. And the first thing she does is look at her arm, and she's not surprised when she sees the same black rune mark on her arm that her mother drew in her dream.
Okay, so what does that mean? Did she actually come to her?
I think I have no basis for this.
Sure.
But I think that Jocelyn found a way to reach out in her dream to contact Clary. And I think Clary, in her sleep, drew it herself.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, cool.
I was waiting for you to go on. It's my part. Yeah. So she gets up. It's midday. She sees the light streaming through her window. And Luke left a note saying that he was going to the hospital and left her Danish for breakfast. But it's like the middle of the afternoon because she has slept all day.
She needs it, man.
Right.
Dude,
like,
me too.
She created a super powerful opening room. So Clary meets up with Simon, and they do discuss a couple of band names, the classic Mojo Pie and the ever-entertaining Champagne Enema, which is a personal favorite of mine.
I don't understand why they would want to change their band name all the time. Don't you want people to remember you?
They haven't like landed on one that is perfect yet. That's the thing. They're like constantly in flux.
Got it. So they're just a garage band still.
Yes.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So on their way to visit Jace at Magnus's house, Simon's insecurities start to creep in, and it's obvious that he's incredibly jealous and suspicious of Jace and his relationship with Clary. And he's like, well, did he ask you to come? And she's like, he didn't need to ask me to come. He's my brother.
He's my brother.
No.
Brother, lover. I'll
No.
stop. Sorry.
We're gonna make a song.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Yep, it's happening.
So they get to Magnus's building, and Alec is sitting on the stoop in what I can only assume is a patent leather trench coat, because the way it's described is a shiny black long coat, and I am not here for it.
No, how many coats did Hodge leave laying around, man?
I can't. It's too much. I'm not okay with it.
Don't they just have like regular coats around there? You got Columbia or Nike nearby? Maybe a Carhartt if it's real cold.
Right?
Come on, guys.
Jeez. So, but what I am here for is the fact that Alec has a key to Magnus's apartment. Say, what? And he tries to like palm it and like hide it, but like you just opened the fucking door. Like obviously, but he was like trying to not make a big deal about it. And I'm like, wonder why.
It seems very, because as you said, I think you said this last episode actually, but it's still in my mind. It's been, 2 weeks since this all happened? He has a key to his house already?
It's not like he's Darcy. He didn't get it in a box. Like an engagement
I don't know
ring.
what that means.
She thought he was going to propose and he opened this box and it was a key to his house and they live in different countries.
Oh, that's so dumb.
I want you to come and go. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Just with like a passport and a visa.
Yeah. Right. And a plan.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so for Robin, I'm going to read the excerpt from the book. Hello, Magnus swept toward them.
I read that as to war.
Towar.
Shit. Okay. Hello, Magnus swept towards them. He was wearing a floor-length green silk dressing gown open over a silver mesh shirt and black jeans. A glittering red stone winked in his left ear. Alec, my darling, Clary, and Ratboy. He swept a bow towards Simon, who looked annoyed. To what do I owe the pleasure? We came to see Jace, Clary said. Is he all right? I don't know, Magnus said. Does he normally lie on the floor like that without moving? What? Alec began and broke off as Magnus laughed. That's not funny. You're so easy to tease. And yes, your friend is just fine. Well, except that he keeps putting all of my things away and trying to clean up. Now I can't find anything. He's compulsive.
Sounds like me.
I love it.
Okay, I have to point out something caught my ear. Oh, remember when we were back at the werewolf bar?
The Hunter's Moon?
Yes, thank you. And we were like, yeah, Magnus wouldn't remember Simon. Why would he say yes? Clearly he does.
Mm-hmm.
So, ha ha ha.
Magnus remembers everybody.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
Been
He
like,
totally
hey, yo,
could have name dropped.
Yeah.
But he would have been like, MB. We're friends.
Like,
I know that, bro.
We got a secret handshake and everything. So Magnus leads our crew to Jace, who was lounging in an armchair and watching What Not to Wear. I can't.
Love it.
Of course he is. And he has commentary even.
And who's he to talk? He's got a trench coat and zip-off cargo short
Yeah,
pants.
that's true. I feel like we talked about this in a couple episodes ago. But it's funny.
It's all coming round full circle.
Sure is.
It's all coming back to me. What?
It's a circle of life.
Oh.
It's Celine
The
Dion.
circle of life.
We have to make a Lion King reference every time now.
God, no. Please, make it stop.
So they banter back and forth, and Magnus is like, bitch, you are gonna handle your shit. And basically threatens him with a snap. And I'm just gonna read it.
You're going to do what?
I'm gonna read it. Hold on.
What?
It's just a little
An excerpt, if you will.
fuck you. Okay. So they're trying to get Jace is basically being emo. And he's like, I'm just going to watch Project Runway and What Not to Wear and judge these people.
It sounds like a good time, and these people are coming to rain on his parade.
Yeah.
Okay, so Magnus is like, And he turns off the TV and he's like, you need to deal with this. What?
Doesn't he, like, disappear the TV? Or does he just turn it off?
He turns it off with a snap of his fingers.
Okay.
It just goes like, boop.
But the TV was never plugged in, so it was always running on magic.
Right.
Because, reasons. So Magnus says, you need to deal with this. Suddenly you're interested in solving my problems? I'm interested in getting my apartment back. I'm tired of you cleaning all the time. Magnus snapped his fingers again menacingly. Get up. Or you'll be the next one to go up and smoke, said Simon with a relish. There's no need to clarify my finger snap, said Magnus. The implication was clear in the snap itself.
I don't need your help.
It's just the sass, and I'm fucking here for it. I love it.
This is what I live for.
I do.
This is great.
So after much banter, Magnus conjures up a round table and chairs in the living room so the group can get down to business to defeat the Huns. So we should mention that we do get a bit of world building in this scene. Magnus explains that everything he conjures using magic has to come from somewhere. He can't just conjure something out of thin air, right? So
Which is weird.
The coffee is from... He just basically steals it.
He makes it very clear he does steal it. He does not pay for that shit.
He's like, if it makes you feel better, I'll tell you that I magic money in their cash register, but I don't. Which I love. But it's nice to get a little bit of like the universe rules surrounding magic and kind of understand what the limitations of magic are. So Jace gives the group the rundown on his encounter with Valentine in the Silent City, and they piece together how Valentine pulled it off. The Conclave was busy with another child killing, this time a Fae child in Central Park, as we discussed in last chapter, when the call from the Silent City came in, giving Valentine enough time to get the Soul Sword and eliminate the Silent Brothers. So at this point, we know that the Inquisitor believes that the killing was all the ploy, but our guys are smarter than that.
Yeah, thank goodness.
So we know that Raphael is adamant that the vampires had nothing to do with it, so it only leaves Valentine. But he wouldn't just start a war with the Fae folk for no reason. And Magnus puts it together. Valentine is trying to perform the ritual of infernal conversion, basically turning the soul sword from something of angelic power to demonic. And it would give Valentine power over demons, power greater than he currently has with the cup, which is what we've been talking about. We're like, okay, well, what? Because they're saying that the cup protects him from demons, but then he said that it helped him control. So I feel like there's some mixed messaging here that we don't quite have.
I just want to know why they can undo the angelic sword anyway. Like, why is there an undo button? Why is this a thing?
Why did you make a loophole?
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
So, as Magnus explains, all magical objects have what's the word?
The bird is the word.
No, you know what I'm talking about. Have an alliance. So, or right? So the soul sword, the mortal sword, is of angelic alliance. So Simon makes a joke about going from lawful good to lawful evil, right? So there's that kind of like, there has to be balance and
so a yin yang sort of thing. Okay.
So it's right now its alliance is to the angelic powers, but what he's saying is that he's going to be able to convert it and change the alliance of the magical item, because Magnus said that all magical items have an alliance one way or the other.
Okay, I get it.
I didn't think the sword was magic.
It came from the angel, so I guess, and it has powers, so I assume like it's a magical
right. I know
item.
what you mean. It's almost intelligent in a way.
Yeah,
like that hat in that movie you guys watch.
Yeah, with
the sorting hat, obviously. Whatever.
Well, imagine the soul sword singing a song when it goes to like interrogate somebody.
I imagine they like put it on people's shoulder, like they're knighting them.
I think they hold it.
They hold it,
like
yeah.
this. But like as it's going down, it's like singing the sorting hat song, but it's like made up one specifically for each person.
Jesus.
We're gonna see if you're a liar about your dad. Your dad is V-Tang. That's a terrible song. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. So Valentine, if he is successful in this transition, it would give him basically an unlimited demon army to do his bidding, which is not a good thing. However, since the werewolf child murder was interrupted, because, you know, that's what you
Wasn't
want.
for you meddling kids.
Dude, that's what you want in any good YA, is a good old-fashioned child murder. So Valentine has only gotten halfway through the conversion, but according to Magnus, this could mean that V-Tang already has some control over demons because it's halfway done, which would explain the lack of demon activity in the city lately if they're being controlled by some other force. So Alec gets a call from Maris and excuses himself from the table. The sound startles Clary, causing her to spill her hot coffee on herself. And the creepiest pissing match in the history of pissing matches goes down.
I don't understand why the coffee is talked about so much in this. I love coffee as much as they talk about it in this book. She is 16. She does not It's a fib. I just have to say
It's a fibula.
Oh my God. Okay.
I feel like Kristen is so smart, and we're just like, yeah, butts smell like poop.
What?
Just a 12-year-old boy over here.
Like just little one-liners. Like the podcast could be so much like more. Oh, and I'm just like, yeah, sucks to suck.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm just over here full of stupid ass questions.
And you're just like, ha, ha, ha.
Okay.
I can't. I will never get over the. I thought he heated up the coins.
How else would I would think that he burned them?
It's just so funny to me because it's so obvious because I'm such a nerd.
But like, did you think he used like a lighter?
Or
like a blowtorch?
I did imagine he used a lighter, to be honest with you.
Like he's got a
In my
Zippo
head,
because he's
yeah.
a cool 80s guy.
But
Stay here. No, stay down. I'm not done yet. Hold on.
I
Hold
imagine
on.
he's like threatening while he's holding it and like heating it up. So he's like threatening this child, right? Poor baby.
It's like Too Fast, Too Furious, where with the rat and the bucket.
No, you lost me.
You lost me.
You never saw that? The second Fast and the Furious?
No.
Where he's trying to get the information out of the cop and he takes a rat and puts it in a metal bucket, puts it on this guy's stomach, and then heats it up.
Yes,
so that
I did see that.
Yeah.
That is super, super terrible. That's what my nightmare will be tonight. Thanks a lot.
It's an effective way of torture. I'm just saying. All right. Let me see it, said Simon, taking Clary's hand. There was an angry red blotch on her wrist where the hot liquid had scalded her. It's okay, she said. No big deal. Simon lifted her hand and kissed the injury. All better now.
Come on.
Clary made a startled noise. He had never done anything like that before. Really? Oh, I wonder why. Then again, that was the sort of thing boyfriends did, didn't they? No, only jealous ones who were jealous of your brother.
And they're trying to prove it.
Drawing her wrist back, she looked across the table and saw Jace staring at them, his golden eyes blazing.
I would be pissed too, just because it's my sister and you're being a douche.
Right? Gross. You're a Shadowhunter, he said. You know how to deal with injuries. And he slid his stele across the table toward her. Use it.
Haha.
No, Clary said, and she pushed the stele back across the table at him. Jace slammed his hand down on the stele. I've said stele like, what? Clary, she said she doesn't want it, said Simon. Ha ha. Ha ha. Jace looked incredulous. That's your comeback? Alec folded his phone, approached the table with a
Folded his phone.
Yeah.
Can we just like one-handed probably? You know what I mean? When you had the flip
Oh,
down.
hell yes.
And you know
could
it
only
wasn't
do
a
it
Razor.
one-handed.
You know it was like an LG, like Verizon silver phone.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Me too.
Me too.
Oh, shoot.
Alec, folding his phone, approached the table with a puzzled look. What's going on? We seem to be trapped in an episode of One Life to Waste, Magnus observed. It's all very dull.
I love how bored he is. He's hilarious.
He's been alive for so long. He's just like, stop.
He's like, these stupid humans.
I think I'd be into it. I would love to watch the drama and be alive for that long and just be like begging for something terrible to happen.
Humans.
In their drama, I mean. No.
And we know what kind of a person Amanda is.
Yeah, I feed on it. Feed on it like Jake.
I feel like your alignment is most definitely chaotic good.
I don't know what that means.
You want to see the world burn, but you don't want to be the one making the bad things happen. You just want to see it. It's fun.
Okay, I want to know about it. Like,
Right.
I want to know who did it, why they did it, who's involved, who's telling them not to do it, stuff like that.
You should read the whole chart down to her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do that next episode.
Cool.
We'll talk about alliances. All right. So, or alignments, not alliances. You knew what I meant.
You guys are in my alliance.
Who's getting voted off the table? It's me.
It's Robin.
You could do with a little poop smells like butt.
All right. So Alec gives everyone the rundown. He told Maris their theory about the infernal conversion, but the Inquisitor has basically pushed her out and is running the show in New York right now, and she doesn't, quote unquote, have her ear. So basically, the adults aren't going to follow up on this very good lead from a very old and wise warlock who knows what the fuck he's talking about, but whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, Shadowhunter government is really... It's a problem. We need some overhauling, buddy.
Well,
Chip
Tang will
Foose
take
needs
care
to
of that.
come in and overhaul this shit.
Wait, what?
I watch too many car shows with my husband. I'm sorry. So Isabel calls immediately after, having overheard Maris's conversation with Alec, and lets him know that a Faerie Knight that she used to date brought her a message. The Seelie Queen wants to see them. The crew argues over whether or not to go, and Jace puts his foot down
very sternly,
saying they are not taking Clary to the Seelie court without him, and since he can't leave Magnus's house, no one's going.
And that's that.
Okay.
End of the chapter.
There are certain, I'm not one to get triggered, but there are certain things that get me. And this... I say no, and that's final. If I was Clary, no. I'd be like, oh, motherfucker, watch me. I'm going to go by myself now. I can't. I am such a contrarian when it comes to stuff like that. Even my husband will, because he knows me so well, he'll be like, oh, you want to do this, but blah, 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 or whatever. And I get so annoyed. I'm like, stop telling me what I want. You don't know. And he's like, it's only the same thing you've done the last 400 times you've done this. I'm like, you don't know me.
Yeah. I'll say that to Andy. I'll be like, okay, Dad, you don't know anything, but I kind of like Jace putting his foot down. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it's starting to get hot and heavy.
Okay, so here's the thing. Yes, I would be angry, but yes, I would still want to do him.
Yeah. Be very much into it.
Being angry and horny are not mutually exclusive. It's important to know. Although I would make him lose the trench coat.
Well, tell her she's going to eat cauliflower for dinner, because she's going to eat cauliflower for dinner. And then she's going to get all hot and bothered.
Oh, shoot.
Oh my God, it's so true.
No, I think it was sweet. He wants to be protective, whether it's sexy or brother love. I don't know, but I think both. It was sweet. I know it's a bad thing to say, but.
Dude, all of our listeners are going to be like, y'all are weird. It is fictional. We do not believe in real life that is okay. But it's fiction, and we're going to suspend reality. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want that sort of control and decision making when it comes to dinner in my house. And I want it to not be me. I just want to be like, we're eating tacos tonight. Bam, here they are.
Dude, I don't know what it is, if pride is getting to me or something, but I just snapped yes. I was like, yes, bitch. I can't.
That's what, you know what? Steak and potatoes. Boom. Bought the steak, bought the potatoes. You eat. This is what we're having. That's all I want, man.
Right.
Yep.
I read it. I read a meme, and I think I sent it to Jason the other day, and it said the biggest problem of adulthood is trying to figure out what to have for dinner for the rest of your every day for the rest of your life. It's just this
legit the biggest struggle.
And Jason gets so mad. He's like, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. What do you want? He's like, I asked you first. And he sticks to his guns. He's like, I asked you first. It's a rule in our house. You can't throw it back on somebody else.
No takesies backsies.
Yeah. That's great.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, of course, Magnus is Magnus, and he built a loophole into his contract with the Clave, allowing his prisoner, i.e. Jace, to be exchanged for another, in this case, Alec. How convenient.
I was going to say.
Interesting. With the logistics settled, they decide to head out and meet Isabel under strict instructions under strict instructions from Magnus to not get themselves killed.
That's a good rule of thumb in general.
It is.
All right, Izzy is waiting for them under the gazebo over the water. She flung up excited to see that Jace was doing well. Clary made an internal note that this is how normal sisters react when they see their brothers. Yeah.
Okay, so it's so funny because when she does that and then she tries to like imitate Izzy's smile and Simon's like, is there something wrong with you? Like, are you constipated?
I ate something bad. I'm good.
I love it.
So they tell her about the great trade that they made with Alex and Jace, and Izzy reminds them that
Alex.
Yeah.
Did I really?
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm like struggling with the pistachios. I should not have eaten them. They tell her about the great trade that they made between Alec and Jace. Izzy reminds them that Maris and Robert wouldn't be happy if they found out Jace was being a busy being a sneaky Pete. And Simon chimes in with that you freed a possible criminal by trading away your brother to a warlock who looks like a gay Sonic the Hedgehog and dresses like the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh my god.
Yeah, okay. Well, Simon 1, Amanda 0. That's hilarious. The child catcher is super creepy, though. And I keep getting these super Prince vibes, especially from the description of what he was wearing just now.
Okay.
From Magnus.
I will give you that some of his clothes seem to be similar to that of Prince, but and I know this is an unpopular opinion, I personally think Prince was not attractive or sexy in any way.
No.
Or even like, I know there's a lot of women that, like, because his music and they were not even a little bit,
Nope.
just not my thing. But Magnus, like, if someone asked me my sexuality, I would say Magnus Bane.
Okay. I don't really get the gay Sonic the Hedgehog vibe. Is it his hair? Like, what is that?
I think it's, the spiky hair.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think the gay part is the glitter.
Yeah.
Which is contrived. And we can do better for gay representation nowadays. But I understand that.
Well, not only about the clothing, but his age. Also in my mind.
You're talking about the artist formerly known as yours,
Yes,
correct?
exactly. Yes. I feel like he's just all around is Prince. That is who I'm picturing when we talk about Magnus. So.
He's not, he looks 19.
Okay, it's weird.
Very important.
I need to watch something to get that out of my mind because I just can't.
Watch Glee.
Yeah.
Okay, and the actor in Glee.
No, but he looks so, like, not... He does not look like... Did we show her a picture of Magnus?
We have.
Yeah.
Okay.
She don't care.
You need to see the whole mannerisms.
Yeah, I think
and,
I do.
Yeah.
Because my mind is not doing him any favors. Jace points out that Simon shouldn't be there. I guess he's just annoyed with his comments about Magnus. And Simon reminds him that he can come in handy sometimes. And since he did one time save their life, once or twice. And Jace makes sure that Simon and Clary understand that fairy courts are dangerous before they make their way to the door. Is what I think they called it a door.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as they make their way to the entrance, Jace and Simon start bickering, of course. Izzy snaps at them and at Clary, telling them to knock it off and they need to stick together for safety. And then she says to Clary, honestly, Clary, if you don't start utilizing a bit of your natural feminine superiority, I just don't know what I'll do with you.
I love it.
I do
because
too.
Isabel is so in control of her effect on other people, whether it be the fact that she's a female or whether it be that she's strong-willed and has like this air of like authority and confidence in everything she does because she's just so sure of herself in that way. But I love that she's like, Clary, you need to get with
Rein
it.
these guys in.
She's saying what I've been saying. Get some fucking agency, biatch.
Yep.
I'm getting that on a shirt or something. # Clary needs agency.
Yeah, and what was the other one we decided?
Meat sweats. Just kidding.
It was one of our episode titles. We decided we needed it on a shirt.
Yeah, we have
Portal
some
meat?
good ones.
Dude.
It was an early one. It was an early episode.
That's so funny. Okay.
It's a bird, it's
All
a
right.
plane, it's Chase Wayland.
Yes.
Oh yeah, keep going. She'll
All right.
find it.
So Izzy also makes it very clear that they're not to eat or drink absolutely anything while they're down there. And with that, they all jumped into a pond. Jason Clary first. It was cold under the pond, and Jace moved toward Clary to warm her, I got the feeling. But before he's even able to come super close, although Clary can feel his body heat, Simon fell from the pond sky.
She can feel the heat from his loins.
Ew. She could feel his breath. Anyway, tell me the episode.
Licensed nerd.
That
Oh,
was
yeah,
it.
that
That
was
was
it,
a very good one. Very good one. So for some reason, I imagined when they came through this pond, sky, ground thing, they would be dry.
Like it would like be
So
a
did I.
magic
Yeah.
force field.
Even though I've read it before, I was just,
yeah.
It seems weird.
Now they're just in wet jeans and they have to go
Yeah.
meet the queen of the Sealy Court. Like,
Yeah,
hello.
it
do the
sounds
fairies?
Isabel could have dressed better knowing that.
I agree.
Yeah.
She seems like she's in very heavy clothing. Yeah. Well, Izzy tells the groups that now the plural, she is now a tour guide. Oh, bummer.
I thought I was going to.
So Izzy tells the group that now they are going to wait for someone to come and get them. Simon asked how she knew all about the fairy land, and she didn't respond. Right after that, a fairy dude came to greet them, and Izzy jumped up to hug him. I assume this was in a very different way than she had acted a few minutes ago with Jace, because Simon realized that that is how Izzy knew so much about the fairy land that I am calling it. So I realized that they were never really together, Simon and Izzy. But don't you think she's curious about why he's not like super into her anymore? And if something's, do you think she sees what's going on with Simon yet? With Clary and Simon?
No, because she hasn't been around them because she wasn't at Magnus's
Right.
with the rest of them. But I think that Izzy is always working an angle. And at this point in the series, Izzy's very much like kind of a player.
Yeah, because...
And she likes to keep her options open. So I think she might not know what's going on with Simon right now, but it's all part of the allure that, okay, so she's like into this dude or whatever. It's like, it's all part of the, like, no one means anything important to me.
Right.
Like, I'm just gonna like do whatever I want and hashtag girls have fun.
Yeah,
or
she
girls
gives
just
no
want to
shit.
have fun, you know?
Awesome. Okay, you guys are going to have to help me with this name.
Melorian.
That's what I was going to say.
Lauren? Meliorn.
Meliorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to say it a couple times before I figured it out.
That's not what I was going to say, so thank you. So Meliorn explains that Simon shouldn't be there because he's a Mundi, and Jace steps up and defends Simon. He says Simon's not an ordinary mundane. He can be trusted. He has fought many battles with us. Clary butts in and says that they won't enter the Sealy Court without Simon, and I do not understand why. I get it. She doesn't want him to feel left out, but this seems like a big deal. Obviously.
Yeah.
And they're worried about like the entire, I was going to say human race, but I guess it would be Downworlder race.
World.
World. Yeah. And so it just seems like something so small to worry about Simon's feelings.
Right.
You know, I don't know. That's just weird. Whatever. Just, I guess that's showing their childishness.
Yeah.
Because if this was an adult situation, like the human would be like,
Yep. I understand.
I'll wait.
Yep. I'll be up here at the gazebo.
Yeah.
Playing Snake on my cell phone that folds.
right, I'm the lookout. Totally.
Okay, so Melorian, right? Did I say that correctly?
Meliorn.
Meliorn. Dang it. Meliorn. I'm going to get you guys to accidentally start saying it too, like you did with Maya. Meliorn approves Simon's admission, and on the way to the court, Jace and Simon discuss Meliorn and Izzy's relationship. We hear Izzy flirting with the guy, and he doesn't seem interested at all, but she does tell a funny little joke that I have to share. She says, he says, this Meliorn I do not understand how I imagine he's saying this in a very robotic voice, by the way. I do not understand how you humans can walk in shoes that are that tall. It's my motto, said Isabel with a sultry smile. Nothing less than 7 inches. Meliorn gazed at her stonily. I'm talking about my heels, she said. He gave no shits.
Okay, so I don't think he gave no shits. I think he is a soldier in, of the court, and he can mask his.
Okay.
Because he popped a little chub there. I can say stupid shit too, Robin.
Thanks for dumbing yourself down to my level.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're probably right. I don't know. So the group goes into a corridor. Why are you laughing? You're probably right that he popped a chub.
But he's also like, I imagine he's a lot older.
I do too.
Because fairies age differently. So it's like, yeah, Isabella's kind of like a fun hookup or what, but he's not like serious.
Right. Well, they get to a corridor with a curtain type cloth made to look like the sky. And it reminds me of I think it's the Venetian Hotel, where it looks like in Vegas, where it looks like you're walking through. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's neat. There's music playing and fairies dancing. She felt the music in her soul, like Alanis Morissette when you're facing something ironic. And she felt the need to dance. As she took a step forward to show her moves, Jace grabbed her arm, telling her, if you dance with them, you'll dance until you die. Damn. Nobody let my kid go there, because when someone tooties that flutie, he's got to move his booty, okay? My kid loves to dance.
Oh my god. Did you just quote Shrek?
Yes, I did. Okay. It was actually Donkey, but yeah. Shrek the movie.
Oh my god.
My life is run on cartoons now.
Wow.
Welcome to the fold.
Yes.
Okay, but backing up for just a second, I didn't realize until after we talked about Meliorn probably being older that, like, do the Lightwoods have something for older men?
Yeah.
Like,
because Prince is like 60, dude.
Stop it. For one, he is much older than 60.
Yeah.
For two, looks 19.
Oh, shoot.
Maybe it's about the experience. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I don't know. My husband's older.
Mine too.
I dig it.
Mine too. Not like y'all, but
yeah. We're 7 years. So.
8.
Okay. So, it was like Jace had woken her from a dream. She felt out of it. Oh, don't be stupid, Amanda. It was like Jace had woken her from a dream. She fell out of it. Jace drew a rune on her arm, and she was able to see that it wasn't quite a beautiful dance that she had pictured, that the glamour had shown, I guess. Seems like such a crazy trip to just all of a sudden see something so completely different. That's It's super creepy that your mind can do that. I guess they can do that to your mind. I don't know.
glamour.
Yeah, so Clary looked to check on Simon, since I'm sure that he would have fallen for this shit because he's a complete full-on Mundy. And she was glad to see that Isabella had tied her scarf around his eyes. And Simon described the music as a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll.
Okay. So, Clary, your boyfriend, right? But more importantly, your best friend who you have been through thick and thin with is going in to a fairy realm with
Where
you.
Been warned several times.
You've been warned. He's the only human, so he's the most vulnerable. And you don't even, he's an afterthought.
Yeah, always.
You hope that Izzy's taking care of him, and you're like, oh, good thing.
Yeah.
Good on you, Izzy.
Look at
Thanks.
that. He's still there.
Jesus.
She's a little selfish. Brotherish, maybe, because obviously that's who she was with. So Cleary asked Meliorn if that was a joke or some kind of test, and he answered that he thought that she was Nephilim and shouldn't have been affected by it. So I guess that means it was a test?
Well,
I don't know.
So fairies can't lie. They just tell creative truths.
Right. We will find out soon. They reached the queen's chambers, and Meliorn explained that the queen came from the north because of the Fae child's death, which is why she was here. And I bow to you, Robin.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so excited.
So I'm just going to read this excerpt from the chapter because, number one, it is beautiful.
I am going to cunt punt you.
Wow.
Whoa. Right in the baby maker. Okay. And number two, I would seriously love to like spend a summer evening here minus the death traps.
Agreed.
Right.
Okay. The room itself was plain. The earthen walls hung with pale fabric. Will-o'-the-wisp glowed in glass jars. A lovely woman reclined on a low couch, surrounded by what must have been her couriers?
Mm-hmm.
A motley assortment of fairies, from tiny sprites to what looked like lovely human girls with long hair, if you discounted their black pupilless eyes.
Creepy.
Meliorn lets the queen know that he has completed his mission in bringing her the Nephilim, and of course she points out that Simon is a mundane, and in a surprise turn of events, without skipping a beat, Jace jumps in defense of Simon again. And it's worth it to note that Jace's charm factor is cranked up to 11 when he's talking with the queen.
His charm,
His
as
charm.
Alec called it.
He explains that Simon saved his life and that they owe him protection, so they keep him by their side. And the Seelie Queen is dubious to believe that a shadow hunter would owe a mundane a blood debt. But Jace convinces her by saying, "Please, my lady, we had hoped you would understand. We had heard you were kind as you were beautiful, and in that case, well, your kindness must be extreme indeed."
Fucking
That
gross.
she'd fall for that is just funny.
Yeah.
I just love it because reading it, okay, I don't remember exactly reading it the first time, let's be honest. I really, really love this chapter. I always have, but I don't remember the nitty gritty. But I read this is the only chapter I've ever read twice, because usually I write as I'm reading. And at first I'm just like, oh, okay, he's just really trying to, but it's almost like they're both kind of putting on this facade. And they're pantering it, ping-ponging it back and forth at each other, figuring out who's going to be like.
I think that, so in terms of like the Fae and the Seelie Queen specifically, they enjoy the intellectual kind of chess game because they don't tell lies, so they're creative about it, and they enjoy someone that can kind of give it back to them because they live for a really long time. And they're kind of mischievous in the way they like to like toy with things. So if someone's going to interact back, that's fun for them. Like it's a game. And so like, and they're very, what's the word?
Mischievous?
No, I mean like kind of like hoity-toity.
I gotcha. They're well read. They're very like.
They're prideful. So the charm thing and the oh, you're so beautiful and the compliments and stuff, they just play into their ego. Because they're so, like, because they think they're superior.
It reminds me of two Southern belles, like, bless your heart. Like, sort of like, oh, you make the sweetest pies. Oh, thank you.
It's all niceties and pretty words because you wouldn't dare be ugly with each other. But it's all about, like, who can outsmart the other one kind of a thing.
It's great. It's fun.
Cat and mouse game.
The queen smiles and tells Jace that he reminds her of his father and bade them come sit and eat and drink. Jace hesitates, but Meliorn reminds him that it would be unwise to refuse her request. And they're led over to these silky, silvery cushions, and seriously, sounds like a dream. And a pixie comes over and fills their cups with a gold tone liquid. Simon sets his cup beside him, remarking that the last fairy drink he had didn't agree with him. Lols. The drink is intoxicating, and Clary, who can't stop being reckless, takes a rose petal out and crushes it between her fingers, releasing more of the toxic scent. And Jace reminds her not to eat or drink anything. And Clary tries to retort, but he silences her with a just don't.
Finally, for once, freaking listen to me.
Right?
The Seelie Queen starts right in on business, saying Meliorn told her that they were privy to who killed the Faechild. She waves them off, saying that it was obviously vamps, since the body was drained of blood, and she isn't really interested in the name of the vampire who did it. In her eyes, all of them are at fault for breaking the law and should be punished accordingly. Dude, she means business. Would not ever want to get on the bad side of this person.
No. Yeah, she's super,
She's just like a wholesale slaughter of them, Isabel impatiently blurts out that it's not vampires, duh.
It seems very out of character, because I feel like Isabel's butts in and, blurts, like you're saying, a couple times while they're in there with her. It seems weird.
Yeah, she's almost out of her element. I don't know.
And I have a theory. Again, not based on anything, complete conjecture. But my theory is that Isabel is used to, because she's kind of honed this skill of confidence and superiority, she's used to being the most engaging and charismatic woman in the room. And the fact that the Seelie Queen is clearly more advanced in that skill set, I think that makes her feel insecure. And so she kind of doesn't know how to operate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Or she's 16 and a fucking idiot.
Okay.
No.
True.
Jace tells her, the queen, that they think it's someone who's just trying to make it look like the vampires are responsible, to throw them off the trail. And he tells her about the attack on the Silent Brothers. And this bitch is sounds like a me problem, not a we problem. In the midst of the conversation, this little sprite comes up and pokes Clary's finger, and she starts bleeding, and like most disgusting humans, me included, she sticks her finger in her mouth to suck the blood up. Jace continues on with his recount. The soul sword is MIA. Valentine took it and killed all the Silent Brothers to do it. He also spills the deets on what they think he's planning on doing once he gets all the blood he needs. The queen stands firm on her previous sentiment. The Fae blood is already taken, so she really gives no shits. And Isabel, and me too, are soups confused. She just went on this whole fire and brimstone tirade. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's an exaggeration, but that's totally my MO. About holding every vampire accountable for killing one child. And now that she knows it was probably V-Tank, she's over it?
She's choosing her battles.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it that way.
So the queen explains that fairies are a patient folk, and they have all the time in the world. Valentine is an old enemy, but not the oldest, and it sounds like not the most important. Any reasoning they try to do, she has this calculated and really curt answer to everything. Demons? I don't give a fuck. That's your job, bro, Cephas. An army? Pfft. An army of demons? Jace finally comes clean. This isn't an official meeting from the Clave. They came when she called because they assumed that she would help once they told her the truth. I'm going to read this excerpt from the book. It's never going to stop.
I'm going to go back to every episode we've done, and I'm going to clip out every time you've said, I'm going to read an excerpt from the book, and then I'm just going to put them all together and just send it to you. That's going to be your ringtone.
Auto-tune it.
I'm going to read this.
Excerpt. Remix.
Is that what you thought? I said that weird. Is that what you thought? The queen sat forward in her chair, her long hair rippling and alive. Remember, Shadowhunter, there are those of us who chafe under the rule of the Clave. Perhaps we are tired of fighting your wars for you. But this isn't our war alone, said Jace. Valentine hates Downworlders more than he hates demons. If he defeats us, he'll go after you next. The queen's eyes bored into him. And when he does, said Jace, remember, it was a Shadowhunter who warned you what was coming. Okay, seriously, Valentine? hates Downworlders more than demons. Mm-hmm. This guy has some self-love issues.
He does.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously jealous or something.
Look. This is a note to two authors, to Suzanne Collins and to Cassie Clare. Okay? I don't care about President Snow's backstory. The backstory I want is Valentine's. I want to know what his parents did to fuck him up.
That's what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes. Yeah, they did something wrong.
Tell me why.
Mm-hmm. There is some heartbreak here. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Heartbreak. What is it? Heartache. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Okay, it's a heartache. Yep. Done.
Solved. The queen answers by prodding Jace and talks about how he's turning against his father, basically telling him that he has no loyalty. And although it might be just an act, as love makes liars out of humans. I said that kind of clunky. Did it make sense?
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Clary is insulted because she hates that man, not loves him. And Jace backs her up. The queen finally takes their words for face value, laughing about how Valentine's little experiments would turn on him. And Clary takes this moment to double check to make sure Jace is as confused as she is. Check. And Isabel pipes in, offended that her pseudo-brother is being referred to as a science fair project. The queen has literally no time for Isabel and doesn't even address that she said anything. And she just keeps...
Power move, man.
Right?
Yeah.
She tells him that the fair folk are top tier best friend secret keepers. And she's not going to spill the beans. But he could check in with V-Tang the next time he sees him to ask what blood runs in his veins. And Jace is like, okay.
Right? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, AB positive?
Right. Okay, so the queen bites right in Inquisitor style, calling him a liar. But it's so important to her that if he swears to ask Valentine her question, she will offer whatever aid is in her power. Whoa.
I feel like this is a trick.
So hold up really quick. I didn't hear him make the actual swearing, right? Like when he did with Raphael, but then he actually never did. Anyway.
I think he's just saying yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, fine. Whatever you want.
Because I was really, when we were doing the Hotel du Mort chapter, I was trying to see if there was because ritual and stuff is really important to Shadowhunters. So I was trying to see if there were, because she's like, say the words. I think she just wanted him to say it out of his mouth. I will do it. I think those were the words.
Okay.
And I think it's I swear by the angel. I think in this situation, though, he doesn't have to swear by the angel because you don't make a promise to the fair folk and not keep it. It's one of those things. This isn't a vamp. The fair folk are far more powerful than the other Downworlders.
Okay.
So I think it's just kind of a respect thing because they can just fuck you up.
Get fucked up.
Get fucked up. Get fucked up.
And it's there's a lot more of the fair folk. They have their own realm. They have their own governing body and warriors and
knights,
it's
obviously.
Yeah, it's legit.
So Jace is dust hands off. We done here. And the queen's like, whoa, hold your horses. This bitch can't leave. She consumes sustenance down here. And you know this.
Man.
Clary's like, I did not. Liar.
Did not.
Fucking Clary, we know that they can't lie.
Well, and Jason's like, well, she can't lie. Calm down.
So what did you do?
Well, and she's like, she must be mistaken. Mm-hmm. And,
except no, because everyone fucking knows what she did.
She instructs them to look at Clary's fingers, and I really hate the way, she's licked them clean. So creepy and weird.
Yep.
And Clary's like, that's not tea, that's blood. The Sprite bit me, and then... Oh, crap. Sprite, blood, rose petal. It's true. So, Jace says that he should have expected the queen basically to pull a trick like that. Mm-hmm. And he instantly like drops the charm. Like the flirt, like he means business now. Mm-hmm. The flirtation's done, and he wants to know, like, what do you want from us that you would pull this crap, basically. Mm-hmm. And the queen's just like, I'm just curious. I want to know about Shadowhunters. And Clary's like, well, you picked the wrong one because, like, I just found out about this, like, Shia surprise, like, 2 weeks ago. And the queen finally comes out with it. She specifically wants Clary to stay there to study her, as it has to do with these unique gifts, quote unquote, that Valentine worked into her. She's saying Clary has the gift of words that cannot be spoken, and her brother's power is the angel's own gift, and Valentine made sure of it.
Can't wait till we elaborate on that.
Right. And Clary says this, I don't know why this really got me. My father never gave me anything, not even a name. And it's just like, damn.
Burn on V-Tang.
And Jace is like, well, you know, Clary, fairies can't lie, but they can be lied to. Like, somebody must have played you for a fool. And the queen is like, come on, you're the best witch of your age. Like, you know you're special. Or maybe you don't know. And Jace is like, the only thing I know is that I'm not leaving my sister here. Release her. And she's like, okay. But it's going to cost you a kiss. All right. And I know Amanda's not into this.
Not.
I love it so much.
But I love the Benny Hill, like, calamity that follows.
I love what you've done here now that I'm seeing it, but I don't love it in the book.
So I'm going to paraphrase all the kiss combos that they come up with. So the first one is Jace kisses the queen.
Which seems like she'd be into it.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Because she was like, pretty young thing.
Yeah.
So then for some reason, Isabel's like, fine, I'll kiss Meliorn. Like, no, bitch.
No one cares.
Come on. And then she's like, but I'm not going to kiss anybody else. And then Simon's like, Simon would kiss Clary. And they're like, no.
No, stupid.
And so then Isabel's like, fine, I'll kiss Simon. Like, I guess it wasn't that bad. And they're like, dude, no. And so then the last one is Jace kisses Simon or Simon kisses Jace.
I'm here for it. I'd pay for a ticket to see that show.
And then, of course, he's like, I knew you always wanted to. I just, like, it's so dumb to me that they just don't stop talking and let her, like, she just basically cut her off and didn't let her finish her sentence.
Right. Well, it's just so inappropriate. Like, they're supposed to be there so seriously, and then they're like, I'll kiss you. Nah, bro, I know you've been wanting to kiss me forever, man. Like, no. It's my Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
So the queen finally says that the kiss that she wants to see is the kiss that Clary most desires. That will set her free. And the air is like thick with tension. Like everything
I'm so sorry. I legit out loud was like, oh shit. Legit.
This is a squealy moment. Like if you thought I squealed in the Midnight Flower, whoo, this chapter, I almost said this episode, but this chapter I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they're both fanning themselves. Oh shit.
Oh my gosh, shit, it's going down.
So every possibility of coupling, canoodling, has been thrown out in the open and shot down. So everyone knows that what she's asking for is for Clary to kiss Jace. And the queen does not care about the sibling surprise. And her words bind her magic. So if Clary doesn't desire Jace's kiss, then she won't be set free.
How does she know what she desires? How does the queen know what Clary wants? Is it just a feeling? Like,
we don't know.
Okay. She's just real smart. Got it.
Simon is horrified.
As we all should be, but
sure, I understand. But at the same time,
I just imagine the emoji, like With his hands on his...
Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Nothing. It's just, it's so funny because it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like, obviously, like, the intention underneath, the underlying current, yeah, that is kind of a big deal. But, like, it doesn't need to be...
a production.
Exactly.
This passionate, massive... I mean, if it would save my brother, I would totes kiss him to get him out of somewhere.
Right. It doesn't have... She didn't say with tongue.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big of a deal. If you could just calm the fuck down and get over yourself for a second.
So he tells Clary that she doesn't have to do it. It's just a trick.
Yes, because you're so familiar with the fucking fairy realm, Simon.
This is why Mondays aren't allowed here. You're a dumbass.
Such a drag.
And Jace is like, it's not a trick, it's a test. And Isabel's like, Simon, calm down, dude. We all want to get Clary out of here. Like, the fuck? Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, right. Like, you kiss Alec. And Isabel's like, yeah, well, if it's like the choices are do it or be stuck in the Sealy court forever, like...
Right.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm. She's like, trust me, I've kissed a lot of people. Like, it really doesn't matter.
Right. It's just a kiss. And Jason's like, yeah. And then he grabs Clary and tells her that she can close her eyes and think of England. Which reminds me of this, like, this scene from Austin Powers where he's like, Margaret get Thatcher naked on a cold winter's day. Anyway. So, this kiss is not a peck, dude.
And why?
Hands go in the hair again.
They just can't help their passion.
It's an excuse. They want it so bad, and it's like, fuck, you just touch your lips and you just can't control yourself, man.
Gotta play with that hair.
Mm-hmm. And then they stroke down her neck and on her shoulder blades and her back, and then he like gently pushes her away, and she's left like gasping at straws, wondering how he's feeling. And is answered by the look in his eyes, the same one from Renwick's when he watched the portal shatter into 1,000 irretrievable pieces.
Oh. Sad.
It was intense. And you know, like, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. And fucking Simon's just like, shit.
I'm screwed.
She's never kissed me like that because I just forced her into a relationship against her will.
Lemonade.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah. Jace is the single malt whiskey and Simon is lemonade.
Mike's hard lemonade.
He's
not even alcoholic. He's like country time.
Minute Maid. Crystal Light.
You don't even need to leave it in the sun. It's good.
So, Jace pulls a Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained?
Great.
And the queen is like, yeah, but looks like you are more. What? And Jace gets snippy, and Isabel advises him against it, saying that they should just go before it's too late. Like,
agreed.
And he's like, it's already too late. Meliorn leads them out without saying a word. And Isabel says that he is so dumped. And then she tries to convince Clary and Jace to just go back to the Institute because it's closer. And there's no one there anyway because they're all at the Bone City searching for clues. Which I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to Magnus to not bring Jace back.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But I digress. And Jace is like, cool, I want to get shit out of my room anyway. And Clary's kind of like moaning and hemming and hawing. I think if she wants the awkwardness. And she's like, maybe I'll just catch a ride back with Simon. Mm-hmm. And Jace is like, yeah, good luck with that. He left.
Because she doesn't pay attention to Simon.
Yeah.
And so Clary like looks around and sees him like walking away up this hill. And she tries to call back after him, but he won't turn around. Because you're going to see my heart breaking. Don't turn around.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That was intense.
So intense. It was
like,
great. I can't tell you how many times I have read that part over and over again because it still makes me squeal.
I just imagined when I was reading it that they were like in a fairy tale and they were kind of like Beauty and the Beast when Beast was switching and they were kind of like suspended in the air spinning in circles and there was like fairy dust around them. It was like this magical event.
I love that your imagination is really running wild. This is great.
I wonder if we could just YouTube just that clip so she could see it.
Oh, Yes, please.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes,
to see the interaction.
please.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it to make sure it's
Yeah, there's no spoiling.
safe for the podcast.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you guys, I have to tell you something.
I have something too.
Okay, make sure you reach out to 9.
Wait.
And death shall have no dominion for next week's episode.
Before that,
What?
I've decided I don't want to be a fairy anymore, guys.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask that question. I don't know why I want to snap so bad. Like, I have this urge to snap.
We saw a lot of
I was
Magnus.
going to ask you, I'm like, we finally saw the fairies at work. How do you feel?
They are super creepy. I love the power that they have.
Yeah.
But no thanks. I don't like the dead stuff going on there.
The dance until you die kind of thing?
No thanks. So
Well,
I
it
think I choose
seems
werewolf.
like the Sealy Queen obviously has lots of charisma and stuff, but almost like her people are just kind of like,
Yeah.
very robotic and
It makes me wonder about Meliorn. Like, how is he even into him if everyone else is kind of like that?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't
that's
know.
all.
Like,
I don't know,
maybe when
but then I think about
he's off work. He
Right.
clocks that time card and he goes a little wild.
His eyes
His hair
turn
down.
blue all of a sudden.
Right.
makes me think of another book and further things, and I don't know. Because I can't. My heart.
I can't. Dude, I'm almost done with Chain of Gold, and I know as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to just start it right back over again. It's good. It's real good. It's delicious. I love it. But, like, I want it to be more delicious. I'm like, too bad it's set in XYZ and it's not as risque. I'm like, give me some of that.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, like Robin said, read 9.
Do it.
We'll see you then. For behind the scenes content and the latest updates, check us out on Instagram at Downworlder Dish Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.